Next at 9, this is Other Derana 24/7.
Vimal remanded until January 24th. Prime Minister assures economic policy consistency. Over $100 million spent in Port City project since September 2016. And death toll in Thailand flash floods rises to 25. Good evening, welcome to Other Derana 24/7. I'm Harshini Ranasinghe. UPFA parliamentarian Vimal Weerawansa was remanded until the 24th of January after he was summoned earlier today by the Financial Crimes Investigations Division. The FCID summoned the leader of the National Freedom Front this morning to record a statement in connection with alleged misuse of state property.
Amid scenes of riotous crowds, Vimal Weerawansa was taken away to be presented to the Colombo Magistrates Court. He was taken into custody this afternoon by the FCID at their headquarters. Weerawansa has been investigated on charges of financial misappropriation and misuse of motor vehicles to the tune of 91.5 million rupees during his tenure as Minister of Construction Engineering Services, Housing and Common Amenities. A band of his supporters attempted to obstruct the police team taking Vimal Weerawansa to the Fort Magistrates Court.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the country's economic policies will be consistent regardless of power changes. The Prime Minister made these comments during the launch of a shopping centre in Gampaha this afternoon. The Ward City Shopping Complex in Gampaha, a new project of the Sanasa Development Bank, was declared open today by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
What is Sri Lanka's most richest company at the moment? Is it John Keel's, Aitken's Benz, Haley's or Axis? It is none of them. The most richest financial organization in the country is the Employers Trust Fund. We can buy all of these companies with its money. Then we have the Employers Provident Fund and National Saving Banks. Apart from government organizations, we also have the Sanasa Development Bank. It's because of the free economy that we are able to give money to the people. They were yelling for a year asking us what we did. They said that President Maithripal and Ranil established a national government, but what did they do? Now we have started the development process. Now they ask us why we are carrying out the development process. Sri Lanka does not have the amount of funds needed for the development process, even if we put together all the money that John Keel's and other organizations have. We need foreign investments. We must first convert the entire western province into a large city. At the same time, we plan to develop rest of the areas. Kulia is one area that is being discussed. We are planning to constructing a 700-acre trade zone in Bingiria. We also want to do something in the Kalutara area. Why was the national government established? We wouldn't be contesting in the next election as a unity party. We are aware of the dispute between the United National Party and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. But then investors would know what whichever party wins, policies will not change. The biggest weakness Sri Lanka faced was policy inconsistency.
Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga says the Justice Minister has no right to criticize recommendations made by the Consultation Task Force on Reconciliation Mechanisms. She was responding to a question posed by a journalist on the comments made by Vijayadasa Rajapaksa on CTF recommendations.
Right to do that because he voted for the consultations task force in the cabinet. Justice Minister was in that cabinet. If he didn't agree, he should have told them no. So obviously he doesn't believe in freedom because the civil society was given the task of consulting people and freely telling the government what they said. So government will have to consider all that and decide what they are going to do. They will have to have extensive discussion and then decide.
The former president, meanwhile, responded to a question regarding her proposals for constitutional change, which are being proposed once again by parties that rejected them during her regime.
ඒක තමයි සහෝදරයා කියන්නේ මිනිසාගේ චරිතය කියලා. එදා එපා කිව්ව ව්‍යවස්ථාව තමයි දැන් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ගේන්න හදන්නේ.
That is what is called the nature of a man. Mr. Wickramasinghe is trying to introduce a constitution that was rejected by them earlier. They rejected it thinking that our party would have come into power once again had the constitution been passed. But finally, I helped them to come into power and helped him become the Prime Minister. I even helped some become President. Now they accept that they were wrong. At least it is good that they understand their mistakes. Politicians instigate racism earlier. Unfortunately, now some monks have also resorted to that. I was the only person who did not resort to racism. The president too hasn't.
මට කියන්න පුළුවන් බොහොම ආඩම්බරෙන් එහෙම නොකරපු එකම දේශපාලනඥයෙක් මම අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමාත් එක්ක කවදාවත් කරලා නැහැ.
United National Party says the government will not attempt to forcefully take control of lands belonging to the public as the former government did. Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman made these comments addressing a media briefing at the UNP headquarters today.
When they built the Hambantota port, they took over land. During the first phase of the project, 450 families were removed and another 610 families were removed in the second phase. However, they provided permanent housing to only 10 of those families. But there were no protests for that. No one took to the streets against that. In Slave Island, there was a 4.5-acre land where 409 families lived. Gotabaya Rajapaksa gave it to an Indian company on a 99-year lease agreement by forcing families out of it. Those people are still living on rent. They didn't want to leave their homes. What did Gotabaya do? At the time the Urban Development Authority was under his purview, in the middle of the night he used to send the army to houses to force people off. Evacuations were done within 24 hours. During this time, parliamentarians like Dallas Alahaperuma, Udaya Gamanpila and Vimal Viravansa, who are raising their voice against the Hambantota port now, were all on the side of the Rajapaksa. When the people of Colombo were forced out of their homes, why didn't anybody talk against it then? If we are to take over land, we will do it the right way, by providing alternative housing to those who would be affected. However, the government has started that 90% of these development projects will be carried out in land that belong to the government.
The joint opposition claims of the economy of the country is in danger. Parliamentarian Bandulu Gunawardena stated this in a media briefing held by the Economic Policy Research Centre today.
The total production of the country declined during the last 2 years. The income of the people, savings, investments, foreign reserves decreased. Those who were employed lost their jobs. The speed of price augmentation increased. The rupee depreciated. Sri Lanka had to take a large amount of debt. Therefore, the economy of the country by tomorrow is in danger. Any of these plans for the year of 2017 will not be successful if this fear will not be eliminated.
Cultivation in Nuwara has been affected by the prevalent cold climatic conditions.
Potato cultivation and vegetable cultivation in Kadapala, Meepilimanna, Ambevela and Pattipala are most affected from frost.
There was continuous frost. Potato and vegetable cultivation has been damaged. We do not have a way to live. It is very difficult. There is no way of finding even daily paid work. Due to the frost, our cultivation is destroyed. None of the authorities intervene in these matters. We do not have insurance. We do not have a way to cultivate in the next season. 1 kilo of cabbage cost 5 to 10 rupees and 1 kilo of radish cost 5 to 10 rupees. To buy a kilo of rice, we have to sell 1 sack of cabbage. I request authorities to give us a solution to this.
Senior climatologist Dr. Ranjit Punyawardana spoke to Ada Derana about the situation.
This year it is somewhat unusual. We are experiencing heavy occurrence of frost, especially in Nuwareli area. Once this frost occurs, especially in the plant cells, especially vegetables and tomato, potato, whatever, damage the cell walls and looks like a rotten appearance. And once it occurred, we can't revert it back. So what we can do is to take some remedial measures in the previous evening. One of the possible mitigated measure is to irrigate your farmlands in the evening, and also you can have some kind of beacon or some fireplace at suitable places in your farmland where the crop is not there without damaging your existing crop. And also you can mulch your crop with whatever available sources like straw, dried grasses, or even polythene. But farmers sometimes use watering in the morning, so it is a useless exercise.
Meanwhile, meteorologists predict that Sri Lanka's climatic conditions will be difficult in the next few months. The prevailing drought will affect cultivations in Sri Lanka in the long term, threatening food security.
During the year 2016, the southwest monsoon was a real failure because normally about 30% of the annual rainfall of Sri Lanka is received during the 5-month-long southwest monsoon season. But this year, most places received less than 50% of the average rainfall during the southwest monsoon. There is a very high possibility of a severe drought situation in February and March. So that means our rice production during 2017 is going to be very badly affected. And also there is a risk for 2017 Yalla. Because of all that, we may have to import rice.
A $1 million program to provide safe, disaster-resilient drinking water to local communities in Sri Lanka was launched recently with the collaboration of the US government. The event was held with the participation of State Minister Sudarshini Fernandopulle and leader of the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna Dinesh Gunawardena. This program expands several previous USAID projects since 2012 that have provided sustainable access to drinking water to those areas in the south, east and north of the country which are prone to droughts and floods. The project is to benefit over 100,000 people. Its scope includes building rainwater harvesting tanks, providing pipe-borne drinking water facilities and renovating local infrastructure to reduce the effects of floods and droughts. In the meantime, based on a concept by President Maithripala Sirisena, the week from January 8th to 14th has been declared as the National Integration and Reconciliation Week. To mark this initiative, the staff of the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Washington, D.C. commenced their work day on Monday, taking a pledge to work towards national integration and reconciliation. The event was held with the participation of the Sri Lankan Ambassador in the United States, Prasad Karyavasam. I'll be back with more news after this short break. Welcome back. The price of kerosene oil has been reduced by 5 rupees per litre with effect from midnight tonight. Accordingly, the new price of a litre of kerosene will be 44 rupees. The Ministry of Finance made this announcement today. The government proposed in 2017 budget that the price of kerosene will be reduced by 5 rupees. In other stories, authorities of the Colombo International Financial City or the Port City says around $180 million was spent since work resumed after the new agreement was inked in September. The China Harbour Engineering Company is to spend a total of $1.4 billion to reclaim 369 hectares of land from the sea to build a world-class city for South Asia.
Reclamation activities for the Colombo Financial City project resumed in September after a lapse of 18 months.
Well, ever since we have started, I think we have done quite a bit of progress. So the total amount that we have spent since we restarted work to now is estimated to be close to about 180 million US dollars. If you put everything together, I think we would have probably gone to about 4 to 500 million US dollars now.
The Colombo Port City is made up of 5 different precincts: Colombo International Financial City, Central Park, Living Island, Marina and the International Island. Once complete, the Colombo Port City is estimated to have some 5.6 million square meters of built-up space. The project is expected to be complete in 3 years.
Finance Minister Ravi Karanayake is selected as the Finance Minister of the Year for Asia Pacific region by the prestigious Banker magazine. He has been selected for his efforts in steering Sri Lanka into a new era of economic reform and change of mindset. The Banker says Karanayake secured a $1.5 billion International Monetary Fund arrangement that the country needed to avoid a balance of payments crisis, replenish reserves and rebuild confidence among international investors. The Colombo stocks ended low today. We now cross over to the day's stock update.
Hi, this is RM Sivanandan from the Colombo Stock Exchange bringing you the market roundup. The benchmark all-share price index lost 2.93 points to close at 6,152.59, while the Sentis Sri Lanka 20 index lost 8.97 points to close at 3,462.31. The turnover was 344.9 million rupees with 20.8 million shares changing hands in 2,764 trades. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,712.05 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were SMB Leasing Non-Voting, Tabraven Holdings, Udapasalawa Plantations, Maravilla Resorts and Tessegro. While the top 5 losers were Muller and Pips, Haley's Fabric, Singer Finance, Softlogic Insurance and Commercial Development. Today there were 2 crossings and the crossing turnover was 185.96 million rupees. Today's foreign purchases was 226.54 million rupees and the foreign sales was 208.04 million rupees.
Let's now take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other currencies. I'll be back after this short break. Soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo was named the world's best player at the inaugural FIFA Football Awards, beating old rival Lionel Messi to the title. The 31-year-old Portugal captain and Real Madrid forward won the coveted title in Zurich for his record of 42 goals through 44 games, with 14 assists in 2016.
FIFA Men's Player of 2016 is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, who picked up his 4th Ballon d'Or in December, an award given away annually by France football magazine since 1956, yesterday claimed the first separate FIFA prize in Zurich. Both honors of recognition came his way for success in the Champions League with his club Real Madrid and Euro 2016 for his country Portugal. Ronaldo earned 34.54% of total votes for FIFA's best player, while Lionel Messi finished second with 26.42% and Griezmann was third at 7.53%.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Meanwhile, FIFA Team of the Year, FIFPro World 11 was named Manuel Neuer, Sergio Ramos, Gerald Pique, Marcelo Vieira, Dani Alves, Toni Kroos, Andres Iniesta, Luka Modric, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Meanwhile, FIFA has decided that the Football World Cup will be expanded to host 48 teams, up from 32. An initial stage of 16 groups of 3 teams will precede a knockout stage for the remaining 32 when the change is made for the 2026 tournament. The sports world governing body voted unanimously in favor of the change at a meeting in Zurich a short while ago. The number of tournament matches will rise to 80 from 64, but the eventual winners will still play only 7 games. Bangladesh limited over skipper Mashrafi Mortaza, who fractured his right thumb during the third 2020 international played against New Zealand, will be out of competitive cricket for at least 6 weeks.
Bangladesh team physio Dean Conway said that Mashrafe will need at least 4 to 6 weeks to recover. He was hit on the right hand by Corey Anderson's blow during the match when New Zealand beat Bangladesh by 27 runs to enjoy a series sweep of 3-0. Another 2 Bangladeshi players, Tamim Iqbal and Imul Kayes, also suffered minor injuries.
And international news coming your way after this break. Welcome back. The death toll in flash floods in Thailand has increased to 25. The natural disaster has caused traffic congestions for 200 kilometers across the southern provinces in the country. This is considered to be Thailand's worst flood disaster in 30 years by disrupting the main highway connecting the southern provinces. Heavy rain and flooding affected more than 1 million households and also led to dozens of flight cancellations.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
The U.S. Democratic Party has called for President-elect Donald Trump's naming of his son-in-law as a top advisor to be reviewed over concerns of nepotism and conflict of interest.
A group of U.S. Democrats wants the Justice Department and Office of Government Ethics to scrutinize legal issues related to the appointment of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of President-elect Donald Trump. Kushner's lawyer said the post does not breach anti-nepotism laws, as he will step down as boss of his family, real estate business and publisher of the New York Observer's newspaper in order to comply with ethics laws, his lawyer further stated. 36-year-old Jared Kushner is married to Trump's daughter Ivanka Trump.
Transformation after spending months with Trump on the campaign trail.
In the latest international news, at least 30 people have been killed and 80 others wounded in twin bombings near the Afghan parliament in Kabul. The attack took place during rush hour as staff were leaving the parliament complex. Minute after the blast, a Taliban spokesperson said the group carried out the attack targeting members of the Afghan intelligence agency. Most of the victims are said to be civilians, including parliamentary staff. Reports speak of a suicide bomber on foot, followed by a car bomb. In other stories, in a lighter vein, the Giant Panda Conservation Program, the United Nations has appointed 17 people as panda ambassadors. They are given responsibility to work towards the prevention of the extinction of the panda population. 17 people from 14 countries belonging to 5 continents were appointed by the United Nations Development Program as panda ambassadors in the southern Chinese city of Chengdu. They are vested with the responsibility to conserve vulnerable panda species and promote the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Well, that's a wrap of tonight's news on Other Derana 24/7. Thank you for your company. And don't forget to log on to our website www.otherderana.lk. Good night.
This is Other Derana, and you're watching Other Derana 24/7.